So this video is totally my wheelhouse. How to become a millionaire in 5 years. Because I wrote the Millionaire Maker book and I promise you a 3 to 5 year millionaire plan. So as you become a millionaire, the other thing you have to start right away, and it's a huge mistake. Most people come to me and have this huge excuse. I don't have time. Don't ever tell me you don't have time. You have time to do whatever you want to do. You got to make this important. This money conversation, business conversation, becoming a millionaire has to become part of your lifestyle. You don't have a personal life and a professional life. You have a life. So put it together, bring those kids out on business trips. My kids have been all over the world on business trips with me. And they work for the company and all of those things. Again, if you want to know how to do that, back to my search bar you go. So as you start looking at investments, you have to get asset education. You got to learn about diversifying. The stock market and real estate and crypto now are not the only three ones. You've got a lot of other assets that you could be looking at and buying, and you have to understand due diligence. My third book, Wealth Cycle Investing, talks about this. I'm actually going to read you the list of minimum, this is just the basics of beginning parts of due diligence. Is the investment congruent with your money rules? Well, that would assume you have money rules. So again, in my Wealth Cycle book, I have a whole chapter, I think it's chapter 4 on money rules. Go get it, read it. Do you have an exit strategy? Does the team have an exit strategy? Now, there's usually some way that, especially now, everybody wants like a big exit, right? There's people mentoring on how to do a big exit. They might've done a tiny exit, telling you how they're going to do a big exit. What is big money investing? See, I remember when I first started, like writing a $10 or $20 or $25,000 check felt like a lot. For some of you, that seems like a lot. Most of us that are accredited millionaires investing, our checks start at 50 and 100. I just introduced to a deal. It starts at $500,000. That's your minimum investment to get in. So some of you just have to begin and get started. Who has the oversight? You know, one of my greatest mentors said, money will follow the management team. So who's on your board, who's overseeing, and if you're a beginner out there, don't think you're going to get a bunch of like great high, value capital from a hedge fund or some sort of a, even private investor. You've got to get some resume. You've got to get a portfolio of some success before anyone's going to invest with you. Is the information public? Is there transparency in the project? Are the economics sound? Is the marketing plan, the sales plan actually aligned to the business plan and the economic environment? I mean, we are officially, right? We're recording this in we are August 2022, officially in a recession, higher interest rates. They're kind of modifying out a little bit, but inflation that is skyrocketing. So can your business make it with all of this? I'm going to say economic, and you got to kind of put political drama that's going on out there. And again, leadership of the executive team. So how do you make money? Well, you all have a God-given skill set. You know how to do something, right? I learned a lot about money and business, so now I love teaching it. I love marketing strategy. I love selling. I love investing. I love just deals. I love business. So a lot of you say, well, I just like to do whatever. Like my husband loves automobiles. He's amazing. I keep telling him he needs a business to buy old stuff, fix it up, resell it. He could be making tons of money, and you name it, from a snowmobile to a motorcycle to an old Jeep to an old Corvette. Doesn't matter what it is, it's a huge business. But I have somebody actually just started this business on eBay and Facebook Marketplace. They go down to the little pick and pull places. They, for pretty much for cheap, of hardly any money, get all sorts of very unique parts. They repurpose them, and they sell them back online, especially in old automobiles, like old BMWs, old Mercedes. They're going to specialize in that. There's so many ways you can make money. What else do you love to do? If you're a good writer, be a copy editor. Right? If you're good at camera, you know how many brick and mortar businesses do not have good social media? Get out and go help local businesses do good social media. There's so many things that you could do, and join a team. Like I didn't just start this company and do the thing I now love to do. I actually dropped out of a huge contract with Chevron and went to work with the Rich Dad Poor Dad team. I didn't work for them, I worked with them. My company was a contract to run the cash flow game, master distributorship. So I learned under the Kiyosaki and Sharon Lechter brand of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Then I learned to do it. I saw a big gap. A huge distinction in the market was, how do you do these things that are, everyone talks strategy, but who does tactics? Who really is the implementation glue and the foundation? Well, that's what we do. So what do? I mean, you could be an affiliate of ours. The reason I want to share the Kiyosaki stuff is I didn't sell any of my own stuff. I sold their stuff. I sold Bob Proctor's stuff. I sold Mark Victor Hanson's stuff. I've sold lots of people's stuff till I got the understanding of this industry. Then I launched my own. I've done so many different ways and different places to become a millionaire, but I'm going to go back to one. I'm going to end with some real estate, but I want to go to one that is near and dear to my heart. And since 2005 and 6, I've been doing as well. It's buying a business. So if you think about buying, a real estate property, think about, businesses are the same, right? They have their ebb and flow and they have their ups and downs. Right now, because of our pandemic and what's going on, businesses are hurting. They're either thriving or they are hurting. And what they need is a shark. You could be a shark. Never before in the history of our world could you go into a shop, coffee shop, hair salon, auto body shop, technical business, I mean, you name it. Companies need money. They either need money for inventory, they need money just to stay capitalized, they need money for growth, they need to completely shift, I hate that word pivot, but shift their entire strategy. They've got to hire a completely new team. I mean, from offline to online. I don't know how many restaurants I've helped move from offline to online to be able to do the delivery and pickups that were didn't even have a website. It was shocking. So businesses are everywhere. And here's your homework. I want you to drive through your town today, not care how big it is. And I want you to get 1, 2, and 3. If you could be a part owner, a shark, it doesn't matter that you don't know how to run them. That is a whole different conversation. But I bet if you drove through town and you just said, I'd like to own part of that company, and that company. And you walked into the company and you just had this little bit of a conversation. You'd say, so how are you doing? My name is, right? I'm curious, how are you really doing? Ask the question again. And then say, how are you doing financially? I'm an investor and I'm looking for businesses I could support. I don't want to buy and take it over. But are you in need of an investor or some support? I can tell you that script has gotten more thousands of clients, businesses across this country. And I'm talking about storage units, RV parks. I have a guy that just bought a trailer park and he's flipping the trailers as one part of the business. He's teaching people how to buy trailer parks and he's actually rehabbing and fixing that up for cash flow. So 3 cash flow moves in one purchase. There are so many businesses that need you now and never before they need experience. Here's what they need. They need experience, they need money, and they need some access to new markets. So those are the 3 things that most businesses use. You say, well, I don't know how to do any of those. Well, I do, and I will help mentor and coach you through them. It is so much fun right now to be involved in the volatility of what's going on and being on the side where you can actually save and support some of these companies. And I'm just going to teach you a lot of common sense ways to do it. But owning a business, huge. I have a guy right now who's building it's a plastics business. It's recycled plastic. He's starting it in his basement. He's to the point now where he's made enough recyclable, from coasters to what's going to become tabletops to trays to also boxes, all sorts of different cool products. It's time to move into a manufacturing facility. What's he going to do? He's going to build a business plan. He's going to go out and look for money. Before he does that, where do you think I'm going to send him? Right? Back to my video on the EIDL loans. He has a business. It's recyclable. So, it's in the recycling green space. So he can go to the Department of Conservation and get money. There's so many fun strategies that I cannot wait to coach him through to make that business out of his basement into a manufacturing plant. And maybe one day you'll even buy his plastics. My point is there is money everywhere for businesses that are getting started or need fixed. But if people don't know what you do, you can actually start owning some. So here's what we're going to do. I wrote The Millionaire Maker, and chapters 1 through 4 are like critical. So I'm going to give you chapters 1 through 4. If you like it, you follow up with me, we'll figure out how to get you the rest of the book. So chapters 1 through 4 review exactly what we reviewed. How to get your baseline together, how to get your freedom day together, how to do what I call a gap analysis, right? Where are you? What do you want? And through income and assets, how does your 3 to 5 year plan come along? So if you would, click on the link, get my first 4 chapters of the Millionaire Maker book, and from there, we will take the next step.